Hey everyone, Danny and Nick here with the Fuel Hunt video series, and in this one we're going over De La Riva. Especially in Nogi, we need to make sure we have the structure set up, and we already did that in the previous videos. So now we're going to talk about what happens if the weight is in both of the hands. We talked about if the weight's on the left side, the right side, so now if they project the weight through the hands, how do we counter that? So I have my good De La Riva structure. If my opponent places the weight to one side, I can take him there. If my opponent places the weight on the other side, I can take him there. And now what happens if he pushes down through both hands equally, and I feel I can't take him left or right? Well, this happens, and I can't take him left or right. This happens because he's putting the weight in the hands, not in the feet. But the counter for this is quite cool because it's super cool because I can just move his foot because it's light. So as he puts the weight through the hands, I can literally just shift the foot back below my hip, and I can start to come up to my elbow, and I can keep my frame on that near hip, right? As soon as I keep that frame on the near hip, my opponent has two options basically. They can turn and face me, in which case they've put the weight back onto the near leg, in which case I can pull my knees to my chest, and I can talk about sweeping them. And we covered that in a previous video. Or if he starts to stay away, I can now flank around the corner and I can start to take my opponent's back like we did in the last one. So they're gonna have a choice. They have to either square up to you or keep the weight on the far side. But again, they're projecting the weight initially through both hands. So I activate my legs, shifting my opponent's foot below my hip line, and my hand is going to slide up from the popliteal to the RF, the rectus femoris, this muscle here that connects into the hip. At this moment, if he starts shifting the weight one side or the other, I'm free to start sweeping him. And of course, if he goes the other way, I'm going to go baby bolo and take his back on the other side. So starting to be able to bring these different weight distributions together. And now, no one's gonna do one and done. They're gonna shift, and then as soon as they feel like their weight's going one way, they're gonna shift the other way. So be prepared to make those shifts as well, but you can read them because you know what they have to do. The only way they can keep their base is by shifting that weight to the other side. So watch those other videos, be prepared for the weight shift, and drill them in conjunction with one another so they can start to go left versus right, and all you have to do is just recognize what they're doing. Then from there, you should be pretty good to go. Check out the other videos.